Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do another lesson from Understand the Basic of Code, Introduction to Code. So today's topic is the field of coding. The field of coding is constantly evolving to keep up with all of the new applications, computers, and digital devices that are developed every year. Hundreds of programming languages now exist, the new ones emerging all the time. In this lesson, we will explore why there are so many programming languages, how these languages are used, and what the future holds for code. Kotlin, Rust, and Julia. No, not the name of pet dogs. These three are just a tiny example of the number of programming languages available today. There are over 250 of them. So why do we need so many ways to communicate with machines? Why won't just one do? The reason is it's more quicker to communicate in languages that are built for a specific task rather than to use a generic one for everything. And as computer programming has evolved, so have the ways that coders build programs. It's similar to the specialized technical languages that have developed in different industries. Doctor needs specific terms to talk precisely about patients and medical conditions, just as engineers have specific language to communicate about design and materials. So let's take a look at the fundamentals of coding in more details and some of its most common applications. The most basic language that computers understand is called binary. You might have heard this term before. Binary code is made up of ones and zeros, and these are the only characters that the languages uses. It's easy for computer to understand, but incredibly difficult for humans. So not even the best coders write programs using it. Instead, they write in their preferred programming language and it gets converted into something a machine understands. We can categorize different programming languages using something called level of abstraction. The lower the level of abstraction, the closer a language is to the ones and zeros of binary, which is more difficult for human to master. And the higher the level of abstraction, the further away it is from binary. And the easier the language generally is for us human to use and work with. Let's look at an analogy that will help us to understand what abstraction is. Imagine you're designing a house. It's much faster and easier to draw a basic sketch, outlining the shape, the materials, and the fittings, than it is to go into details about every nail, brick, and plank of wood. As long as you communicate the essence of that house, the architect and builders will fill in the gaps. This basic sketch is equivalent to high abstraction or a high-level programming language. It's still the house, but a simplified representation of it. A high-resolution model or a detailed set of blueprints for the house would be the equivalent of low abstractions or a low-level programming language. While this offers a much more comprehensive representation, it's also far harder and more labor-intensive to design. Let's look at some language at a low level of abstraction. C and assembly. Computer can understand them relatively easily. This means they can translate the code very quickly and they don't need much memory power to run programs. This makes C and assembly perfect for building a smaller computer that tell devices such as cars, digital watches, thermostats, and traffic lights how to work. Languages like C++ and Swift are written at a higher level of abstractions. These are easy for people to work with, but a little resource intensive for machines to read. Coder uses languages to build things like the mobile, tablet, and desktop apps that you use on daily basis. These languages are really versatile as they need to perform lots of different tasks. Managing data is another important application of coding. As the amount of data we produce on the planet increases, coders use high-level languages like SQL, pronounced SQL, to capture, store, analyze, and sort of the data in lots of different ways. If you look at how a social network application is coded, then behind the photos, updates, and like is a huge database that securely stores data from its millions of users. By manipulating the data with SQL, social networks can recommend friends, target ads, and show you relevant content. But the most commonly used programming language in the world is JavaScript. Whenever you are on a web page and you see a game, interactive chart, or lots of moving elements, you're seeing JavaScript at work. In fact, 95% of the 10 million most popular web pages use it. JavaScript is a scripting programming language, which is a family of languages designed to be as friendly as possible for coders. Now that we have explored some of the application of code, take some time to research the computer programs you use on a daily basis. Put on your detective hat and search online to see which language were used to build them and what's happening behind the scenes. To wrap up, there are many programming languages out there, each used to achieve different goals. A mix of low, mid, and high level languages enable coders to write for a range of purposes, whether it's C, an assembly to program smaller computers and devices, or SQL and JavaScript to manage databases, and JavaScript for bringing interactivity to websites. Regardless of the language, the goal of programming is always the same: to instruct a computer to complete a specific task that will help you to do things faster, easier, and more effectively. So, the chapter is finished. I'm going to check the knowledge. Here, check your knowledge. Rose wants to become a computer programmer and has been doing some research to get a new career started. Help her spot which of the following facts about programming language are correct. So from here, flip the switches on for the right answer, then hit submit. So the 4 choices are here. Number 1, there are many programming languages out there and each one is used for different purpose. A mix of low, mid, and high level programming languages allow coders to write for a range of purpose. And third one, there are only a specific amount of programming language that can instruct a computer. Number 4th option is all programming languages eventually get converted to binary code which all machine understand. So have to collect right answer here. Here I go, I will select this one and this one and the last one. And let's check my knowledge. There you go. That's right. Great work. Nicely done. While different programming languages are used for a range of purposes, the goal of programming generally remains the same: to instruct a computer to carry out a specific task. All languages eventually get converted to a binary, which is the most basic language and one which all computers understand. So here I'm concluding this lesson. It's almost finished. So we'll get back with another lesson. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and wait for another lesson. Thank you.